So, what do I mean by we don't like being uncomfortable? Um, it's when you can feel in your body that, yeah, you start twitching, you get a sort of restlessness. And there's a sort of an expression is like get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's really when you can become aware of how you are in certain situations. As long as you're busy, as long as you're doing, as long as you're looking outside of yourself, either looking forward in life, looking backwards in life, you don't need to look at what you're doing right now, why you're doing what you're doing. You don't need awareness. Why would you? You're not in the moment. But in order to be in the moment, you need awareness of like, okay, right now, where did my mind just go? Why did I let that comment from that person start me spinning in all these different directions? Why did the fact my delivery arrived 30 minutes later than was shared in the SMS? Why am I now super grumpy and can't flow? Why can I not flow? And we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't like feeling these things. We want to ignore it. We want to ignore that maybe that reaction was slightly extreme. And so what if someone's late? So what if the parcel guy's late and he turned up 30 minutes late? And well, it's not his fault he was stuck in traffic, but you're super irritated now. And that's the window. That's where you stop and go, slightly overreaction there. Why on earth was I getting so wound up in that moment? And it is in that level of awareness that you start getting uncomfortable, because you start seeing that potentially that reaction was a little bit, there was some aspect of you that would be triggered. Of course, we should just be able to roll with the punches of life, but we're wired so that we can't handle that nowadays. We don't like being uncomfortable. I'm not going to sit with, it's that guy's fault. He was late. Now he's made me grumpy. But actually, that guy didn't do anything. He was just desperately trying to do his job to get his parcels delivered. But it's much easier to blame him because he's responsible for your reaction. But actually, the only person that's responsible is yourself. A healthy response would have been like, oh, it doesn't matter. Nothing in my life has been impacted. It's simply late. I just changed my plans. I call my friend or whatever and tell them I'm going to be a bit later because I'm still waiting for a delivery and there's no one else here to accept it. Or my neighbor's not there, right? There's things that you can do versus getting stuck in that reaction that made you quite grumpy. And so what we don't want to do is sit with what that reaction is. We don't want to sit with, oh, maybe that was a bit extreme. We want to just blame someone else because that's a deflection that projects it onto somebody else. We don't have to accept responsibility then. That's what it is to be uncomfortable. That's the feeling we avoid. We don't want to feel like that. We don't want to feel we're responsible for our own lives, because then that is putting a mirror up to ourselves. It's putting up a mirror to say, you know what, you could have reacted differently in that situation. And you've just now, even though that guy was 30 minutes late through no fault of his own, you've now wasted an hour of your life getting stuck in this event and what it potentially means or doesn't mean to you. That's what makes us uncomfortable. And it's only when you don't fear sitting in that position that you're able to work through it and see it and say, oh, yeah, oops. Probably wasn't the best response or the most helpful response I could have had. Next time I'll try a bit better. And I will just use that 30 minutes that the guy is late and I will read a book. I mean, how novel would that be? Not literally, not the novel, but you know what I mean. And so that's really what we're looking for. It's like, what are you avoiding? Why do you not want to sit with that moment? Because only when you sit with that moment and you become aware of it, can you actually the next time try something different. As long as you're constantly using the same reaction time and time again, and it's not going to change, then you'll get stuck.